UFC Fight Night, Cejudo versus Song Yudong. Don't know why it says Song, usually the last name. I've just recorded this video and forgot to turn the fucking mic on like an idiot. But we're going to get into the predictions, starting with the main event, Henry Cejudo versus Song Yudong. Now I'm going off of sort of their last fights, and I've rewatching them. So what I've noticed, we're not going to go off credentials because they just don't work. I'm sick of choosing people off credentials, and it just doesn't work. I think I took the other week. I chose some jiu-jitsu guy. Just didn't he just lost to some guy who has never done a jiu-jitsu match in his life. I know it's MMA, but different stuff. So obviously, Cejudo, he's a wrestler, but we're going off of MMA, and his wrestling, in all fairness, has not looked too good in MMA. I know he's a wrestler, but he has not. He's got that karate stance with his chin wide open in the fucking air. His head is wide open to be smacked. You are 5'4". You need to tuck your chin and get in the pocket. This guy doesn't get in the pocket. He likes to sort of tap kicks on the outside, and it's not good. It's not good, especially when you're 5'6". Song Yudong's a massive belt bantamweight. He had a good fight against. He had a good showing, not a good fight. Like, Yan clearly won that last fight, but Song Yudong, yeah, had a very good performance. I remember there's people like just blatantly lying, saying like Song Yudong should have won. You just don't like Yan. I don't know why you don't like Yan, but you're just lying to yourself. Just the reaches, like, if you watch his highlights, Song Yudong's highlights, he's got crisp boxing, ends them with kicks. He's powerful. He has been taken down by lesser wrestlers though. But like I said, I'm not taking your credentials as a fucking, I'm Olympic wrestler. Yeah, okay, cool. You know, MMA wrestling is different to wrestling. So I am going with Song Yudong, like everyone else. How original. It is a coin flip though, because you gotta think that Cejudo has only lost to fucking Aljo in a very close fight that people thought he should have lost, and then there was one against Marab where he sort of got manhandled. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. Moving on, Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. I don't know why I fucking struggle saying his name there. Now, on my notes, I have put Allen, but I'm going with Hernandez. But I'm going to get into it. Right. Obviously, they're both grapplers. But I do think Hernandez has got, like, slightly better striking, or maybe just the pressure. They've both got pretty bad defense. But the only difference is it's a very coin flip fight, because Brendan Allen did really well against Mavov, who've just beaten Adesanya, who's now in title contentions. He has bad defense though, okay boxing, he's very long in range, not really rangy, but he's very long, could be annoying for Hernandez, who's like, shut up, you're not 6 foot, you're 5'11", 5'10". Someone really needs to check these UFC heights. I'm going to be going with Hernandez. I feel like he's a better wrestler. Allen's been laid on top of by lesser opponents. Yeah, I'm going to be going with Hernandez. And I'll go with, is this a 5-rounder or a 3-rounder? If it's a 3-rounder, I'll go decision. But we'll move on to the next fight, which is Rob Font versus Gene Matashiro. I swear it was supposed to be Gene Silver. Has that fight been cancelled as well? Let me get my notes up. I am going with Rob Font. Alright. I've put it in the right order. Just the next one's Gene Silver. So I am going with Rob Font. He's had very good close fights with like top level at bantamweight. Cheeto, Aldo. It was another guy I had a fight with. I cannot remember. But he's just very good. Starts his boxing combination with his jab, obviously. Well, who's supposed to start it with? Matsushiro has good striking. Defense to jabs is poor. Obviously, when you start your boxing with jabs and you can't defend the jab initially, you're going to get your face put into a mess. And that's what I think is going to happen here. Yes, he is 16-0. but he has fought a lot of cans, like, you know, a lot of cans. That's going to be a thing you're going to notice a lot on this card. A lot of these undefeated guys are not actually undefeated. But we will move on to Gene Silva. I do think these two fights are close. Well, three. Brendan Allen, Hernandez, Font, and Matashiro, and Silva versus Bhattacharyan. I do think just the pressure style of Mansil Bhattacharyan, is that how you say it? I don't know. It's from Armenia, so you know they're going to be tough. Gene Silva fights out the fighting nerds, and I'm just going to assume that they're going to help him. Like, that's a good team to be around, like, with the amount of, like, top contenders they are. Really should have been got of a top contender, but, you know, hey-ho, UFC are not the smartest. Yeah, I feel like his pull counter is going to win him this fight. Just purely off of just him trying to pressure this Armenian guy who I'm not going to try and butcher the name of again and again and again and again. I can't pronounce it, it's simple as that. Yeah, I think Gene Silva's going to pull counter him all day. He's very pressure-like, and Gene Silva just likes to fight. There's no nerves of him. He loves to fight. So fair enough. We'll move on to the main card opener, I believe, of Alzo Menafield versus Julius Caesar. Oh, okay, I remember this dude. So Julius Walker is a regional fighter. It's my best description of him. He is 6-0, I believe. He has also fought a lot of cans, and he is just destroying everyone on the regional scene. Alonzo Menifield, though, is a top 15 at light heavyweight. I don't think, like, you're coming from fighting cans to now top 15 in the world at light heavyweight. Nah, son. I'm going with Alonzo Menifield. He has a Jacoby win. He has a good competition, win and losses. Even if he's lost, he's had good performances most of the time. He has a few stinkers though. Walker's undefeated, but he's only fought bums, so I'm gonna have to go over Menifield. There's nothing really I can say. Menifield is fighting in UFC against good competition. Julius Walker is not fighting good competition on the regional scene. Is it really hard on the regional scene to find someone who's like 4-1? This guy's record is full of like 3-2. Four losses and like 1 win and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's mental. Yeah, so I'm going with Alonzo Menifield. Moving on. Elon Cutelaba versus Ibon Aslan. Now, there's nothing I could really take on Ibon Aslan because his last opponent, who is later on the left, is the first fight of this card. Fucking hell, I can't talk. He is literally hit him hard once and he quit. So there's nothing I can tell you about him. He is a very... What am I noting? He's a very patient, I remember. He's very patient, this cute Aslan. Yeah, but low output striker, last opponent quit. I am going to go with Cutelaba just purely off of him just being powerful, fakes. He looks pretty good in his fights. Yeah, he's got 10 losses, but they're mostly a good competition. Be a stoppage against Ankalaev years ago. But I'm going to go with Cutelaba. It is a close fight though. A lot of these fights are very like 50-50, so I'm not going to be surprised if I go like shit in picks. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. We're moving on to the next fight. Andre Fili versus Costa. How the fuck do you pronounce that first name of his? I haven't got a clue. I'm going to be going with Andre Fili purely off his movement, his jabs. Like on the last recording, I had a very good analogy, and I'm going to pretty much repeat it because on my last recording, I didn't exactly fucking hit the mic button to record. So instead, I'm going to put it in this analogy. When you fight in UFC, I believe there are 5 categories of fighters. You've got low level, you've got mid level, then you've got mid level going into just below the rankings, and then you've got the rankings, and then you've got the top 7, top 5 area, yeah? I believe Costa is in the sort of low level. Low, yeah, he is low level. He's 2-2 in UFC. I believe he's in the 2-2 in UFC. I believe in the lower level of that like line of people, but there just seems to be a line above that line in going into the mid okay fighters is where he cannot get into. It's almost like he tries to get in there and he just loses. Tries to get in there, loses. But I believe he did have one good win on his record. So yeah, but Andre Philly, who's he beaten his last fight? Like Cub Swanson, I think it was. 303 on the Pereira card, Pereira Yuri 2, and that was he had a very good performance there. Schooled him start to finish. Yeah, and you look at his record, and it's like 24-11, but he's a legend of like he's been fighting fucking years and years and years. So I'm gonna go with Andre Philly. Maybe he'll get more Latinas after this fight. Fucking hell, what a weird thing to say at a post fight press conference. You mental guy, but we all like him. I can't pronounce the guy's name. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Nick Klein, who is fought on the both fought on Contender Series, I believe. What are my notes? I need to actually get my notes ready before I actually move on to the next slide. Yeah, they both fought on Contender Series. Klein's going off a regional sub and a Contender Series sub that looked nasty. Undefeated. Last opponent rushed in and got caught. And Abdul Malik is mad powerful. But this is a fight on 2 weeks' notice. So I'm going with the guy either on a 4 weeks camp or a wrestler not on a camp. I am going with Abdul Malik. It does say here, I remember from my last recording now, 6'2" is a fucking lie. If I'm talking about the right person here, which I believe I am, I don't think I'm that retarded. He did not look 6'2". He looked about 5'6". You know, he looked tiny, but he looked big, like bit tiny but stocky. But I'll be going with Abdul Malik. Moving on, Ricky Simon versus Javid Basharat. Ricky Simon is a wrestler, American wrestler. Yeah, look, nah, this guy is from Afghanistan. These Afghanistanis, yeah, they're tough as fucking nails. Yeah, he's got a loss on his record. He is tough. You'd only be undefeated. He's more of a striker though, I've noticed. Like, I know he trains in US, but I know Afghanistan has really good wrestling sort of thing. They're sort of like the Caucasus Mountains, but like not in the Caucasus Mountains. They're just sort of the raw mountain. But these Afghani fighters are really good. I can't wait to see more of them in the UFC. So I'll be going with Basharat. And I just think because his hands are low, he can frame easily. He's got range. Obviously, Ricky Simon, wrestler with a big overhand, typical Chad Mendes type of person. That's actually a really good description of Ricky Simon. A really good description. He's pretty much just the bantamweight Ricky Simon. He actually beat Marab before he popped an EPO. So fair enough. I should probably choose to win this fight purely off that basis, but no. Moving on. What is this? They've literally just added this on, and now I've got to do like literally last second predictions on this fight. Who are these then? Okay, you're 4-0 and you're not fighting UFC. This guy is Ukrainian. So why do they add fights like about a day before they're actually announced? Because when I was doing research for this card a couple like nights ago, before all the news came out and I recorded my last video, what the guy's fought in UFC, this guy's not fought in UFC. I'm going with Nikola fuck it, the Ukrainian dude. I'm going with the Ukrainian. Right, moving on. Ruzaboy versus Eric McCollin? I don't know. I will be going with Ruzaboy. Again, Again, one's fought in UFC, the other one hasn't. He's fought good competition. He has all first round finishes essentially. This Rozaboev, he's a regional scene fighter. This Eric guy is, and he has a few KOs before. So yeah, I'm choosing Rozaboev. He's had actual fights in UFC. Yeah, he's fighting higher level competition. These regional fighters usually fight cans, and then they get into UFC, and then they get beat, and then they're like, "Oh, I don't know," and then they just quit. Just quit the sport, which is fair enough. Ah, Raphael is the quitter here. This is the quitter that fought Aslan. Took one big shot, cowered up, and just absolutely did nothing. Just cowered up, let him get beaten up. Was like, I don't want to fight. I'm not a man. I just want to lay here and just get beaten up. So hundreds of millions of people can watch me get KO'd essentially on the fence. He wasn't even on the floor. Not like he got dropped or anything. He got standing TKO'd to literally just cowering and not doing anything back. Didn't try to throw any counters. Didn't try doing Adesanya like where he backs up and tries to counter. Just literally just laid there with his hands up. Most of the shots were on his hands, and he did nothing. He did nothing. He just let him get beat up. So purely off of that, I'm gonna have to go with the Lithuanian guy, because I can't pronounce his name either. I should probably start learning the fighters' names before I make these videos, because practically in every single fight card, there's always a fighter that I cannot pronounce the name of. There's at least 4 every single time. But yeah, the guy he's fighting, this Lithuanian guy, he is 7-1 in cage warriors. Like for a Lithuanian fighting in cage warriors, 7-1. He's 4-4 in UFC, I know, but like chill out. This guy quit in his first fucking fight in UFC. It was on the 308 card. You look at his record and you're like, oh, he's 11-1, and this guy's 16-6. No, he's fucking terrible. I'm not choosing you again until you decide not to quit after a big shot lands. Yeah, but I do see Cage Warriors as like the less bigger UFC, I guess, because it is the second best organisation. PFL and Bellator are fucking shite. LFA is okay, Brave's okay, but the other two are fucking terrible. But yeah, I'm going with the Lithuanian guy. So in short, I'm going with Lithuanian Ruzaboev, the Kazakhstanian, the Afghani, the American. I'm just going to go off like ethnicity now. The other American, the Moldovan, the American, the Brazilian, the Puerto Rican, the American, and the Chinese. I understand you'll be watching this like closely. Subscribe, comment your predictions, like the video. I have got a video of what was the video? I actually can't remember what I made. I actually made it earlier. I actually cannot remember this. Making the perfect UFC 316 and 317 cards. So one is the one after Bilal's card, and the next one is the International Fight Week. I've got them two coming out probably this weekend. I might just get it recorded after this, and then just upload it anytime I like. But yeah, like, follow, subscribe.